Dolphins fans, it is time for me to step aside and give way to the new full-time Dolphins Today host. That is Jake Riepma. Excited to have Jake take over the channel. I was always the interim. I was always the short-term guy until the new full-time host got fully up to speed. I'll always have a soft spot in my heart for you guys and the Dolphins as a team. But I do want to welcome Jake, who I'll be kicking things over to here momentarily. Everyone, I want you guys to welcome Jake in the comments section by spamming Jake right now as he takes over as the full-time Dolphins host.
Tom, thank you for the warm welcome. And Dolphins fans, the time is finally here. I'm so excited to be here, so excited to take over and build on this incredible channel that was started with Willie Finns and Tom. And what an honor it is for me to be here as the host of Dolphins Today. I'm so excited to get going. I'm so excited to connect with each and every one of you because it's the best time of year. What better time than now to start as we are in game week? That's right. The Dolphins are going to be kicking it off in just a couple of days, less than a week. What's felt like such a long wait is finally upon us, and I'm just so excited to roll up the sleeves and get it going. So let's do exactly that. We'll start with some injury news and updates because that's what you're here for, right? And we'll start with Terron Armstead, who did not practice on Monday. Now, keep in mind, the goal is for him to be ready to go in week one. Mike McDaniel said as much, and that he is, in fact, progressing well. Go all the way back to mid-August. That's when Armstead suffered that lower leg injury in a joint practice against the Texans, and he hasn't practiced since. So for him to be ready to go in week one would be a big jump, but the hope is he'll still be able to get to that point despite not practicing up to this point. However, as Mike McDaniel said, he is progressing well. Now, keep in mind, Armstead has never completed an entire season in his 10-year career without missing time. Go back to 2022. That's when he missed 4 games. The year before that, in 2021, Armstead missed 9 games in total. Better in 2020, missed just the 2 games. Same in 2019, only missing the 1 game that season, but in 2018, he missed 6 games. So yes, you could say he's probably the Dolphins' best offensive lineman, but the injury part has been something to be concerned of throughout his entire career. Again, he's never gone through an entire season without missing some time due to injury. But the Dolphins' offensive line is already a little bit banged up and not necessarily that position group that has a lot of depth. So you're going to be counting on a guy like Armstead, who last season in 687 snaps allowed just 1 sack. Again, one of the best offensive linemen for this Miami Dolphins team. His pass blocking grade was 80, run blocking grade at 69.4. He's a guy that you need to anchor that offensive line. You've got Isaiah Wynn as the left guard, Connor Williams the center, Robert Hunt your right guard, and Austin Jackson as your right tackle. So for Terron Armstead, that left tackle being such an important position, you got to count on him to be the anchor of that offensive line. Now, before we go any further, I want to hear from you. Will Terron Armstead play in week one against the Chargers? Type Y for yes, N for no. It's real simple. You're going to get hit with that YouTube ad break, so go ahead and make the most of it while the ad's playing. Let me know. Do you think Terron Armstead's going to play in week one? Y for yes and N for no. All right, here's where I'm at with Terron Armstead. I think it's a matter of him trending in the right direction all preseason after he suffered this injury, knowing full well he doesn't need any preseason reps. It's not like this is a rookie or second-year guy. This is a proven veteran that unfortunately suffered an injury in the midst of a joint practice, but the goal all along was to be ready for week one. And I don't think Mike McDaniel says he's progressing that way if he doesn't truly believe that Armstead can play in week one. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on the table. I think Terron Armstead is your starting left tackle for the Miami Dolphins in week one. Now, we do have to consider, what if he's not quite ready for that opening round game against the Chargers? Then you've turned to backup Kendall Lamb. Now, Kendall Lamb didn't play a lot last year, but that's not to say in the one game he didn't have some production. Look at the amount of sacks that he allowed, right? Zero. It's a goose egg. He did not allow his quarterback to get hit, and the run blocking grade, sure, it's not great, but overall grading out at a 67 according to Pro Football Focus. So obviously Armstead is the better option if he can be healthy to start at left tackle, but your backup Kendall Lamb fully willing and able to step into that position if necessary. Now let's get to some other injury updates as we progress to game week. How about that? It never gets old saying that, right? We are in game week, so let's get an update on Jaylen Waddle, the playmaking wide receiver. We know how crucial he is to the Dolphins' success on the offensive end. And good news, Dolphins fans, Waddle practice on Monday. So while we're all enjoying the Labor Day holiday, that's right, Jaylen Waddle was practicing and getting ready to make that start in week 1. Nothing definitive yet as we continue to monitor the situation along the week. We'll have an update there. But we know how crucial Jaylen Waddle is to the success of this Miami Dolphins offense. He burst onto the scene as a rookie in 2021 and followed it up in 2022 with an even better season, playing in all 17 games, eclipsing better than 1,300 yards receiving with the 8 touchdowns. And in his rookie campaign, he had the 6 touchdowns and better than 1,000 yards receiving. This guy can play. Everybody in the NFL knows that, and we know how important it is for him to be a part of this Dolphins offense. So let's go ahead and wish Jaylen the best. I think he'll be ready to go in week 1. But as we continue on with Dolphins Today, what a time to remind you to subscribe to the channel. Look, I'm the new guy here. My coworkers keep calling me new guy. In fact, they gave me a challenge and said, Jake, you got to get to 40 subscribers, new subscribers. Otherwise, we're just going to keep calling you new guy. So do me a favor, if you're new to the channel, new to the show, whatever it may be, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and join us on an exciting journey all season long as expectations are sky high for this Dolphins team, and why wouldn't they be? So go ahead and smash that subscription button so the office will stop calling me new guy. I'm tired of responding to new guy, and as soon as we get those 40 subscriptions, they'll stop calling me that. But couple more news and notes to get to. Devon Achane might have quite the opportunity at the running back position with Jeff Wilson starting the season on injured reserve, I should say. Achane returned to practice on Monday as well. Remember, he suffered that shoulder injury in the second preseason game. And obviously, Raheem Mostert's going to be the guy to tote the rock, but you'd love for Achane to have the opportunity to step in there and provide his playmaking abilities as well. And it's time to predict the score, right? I know it's still early. It's Tuesday. We're moving in that right direction, getting ready for game week. But go ahead and give me a score prediction. Type it in the comments. Who do you got? The Chargers are right now the 3-point favorite. That over-under is at 51.5. But I personally, we'll get to my specific score predictions later on in the week. But you know I'm taking the Dolphins in week 1. I don't care if they're on the road and they're the underdog. I love the Dolphins in week 1 against the Chargers. So as always, you want to make sure you keep it tuned to Dolphins Today for the latest injury updates, starting with Jaylen Waddle, Devon Achane. And let's talk about the defense in the secondary. Brandon Jones is a guy that's trying to recover from that ACL injury. He's still working his way back from that torn ACL, wasn't able to play at all in the preseason, and so he still remains a question in that Dolphins secondary. And if it's not Brandon Jones, who else do we got? How about Javon Holland? Deshaun Elliott. Those are 2 guys that can make an immediate impact in the secondary. Last year, Javon Holland had the 96 tackles to go along with 7 pass breakups and the 2 interceptions, whereas Deshaun Elliott, a little bit smaller sample size, still had the 3 pass breakups and the 1 interception to his name. So if Brandon Jones can't go, those will be your 2 other guys that will step into the secondary position and be led by first-year defensive coordinator Vic Fangio on the defensive side of the ball. So, again, Dolphins fans, I got to ask you guys, who starts week 1 for Miami at the safety position. Type BJ for Brandon Jones. And if you think it's going to be Deshaun Elliott, go ahead and type DE in the comments. Brandon Jones, BJ, or DE, Deshaun Elliott for your starting safety in week 1. Some other news, let's play GM for a second. Let's put our general manager hat on because Bleacher Report was doing what Bleacher Report does, providing all kinds of suggestions on who the Dolphins should sign. And they came out with an article suggesting Miami should sign Taylor Lewan, play him at right tackle in place of perhaps Austin Jackson. We talked about maybe a little bit of lack of depth on the offensive line side of things for the Miami Dolphins. But do you think the Dolphins should sign Taylor Lewan? You know, he's a guy that's an NFL veteran. He's made a couple of Pro Bowls before. However, he said in the past he doesn't want to play that right tackle position. And we haven't even touched on the fact that injuries have been a major concern for Taylor Lewan. In 2022, he played just 2 games, 2 out of 17 games. We all know availability is one of the most important attributes in the National Football League, and just 2 games played for Lewan in 2022. Go ahead and look at 2021, the year before. He got in 13 games there, but right back to single digits in 2020 with just the 5 games played, followed by 12 in 15 in 2019 and 18, respectively. So I ask you, would you sign Taylor Lewan for the Dolphins? Type S for sign, or if you want to pass on that idea, just go ahead and hit P in the comments for me. S to sign Taylor Lewan, or P to pass. I'll give you my take on it. It's real simple. I think Taylor Lewan, no disrespect, but for the large portion of his career, he's been a guy that does a lot of talking. He's been a lot of sizzle, not a lot of steak. It's a hard pass for me, especially when you consider the fact that he'd be playing an important position with no preseason. I know he's a veteran, but no time to gel with that offense. And there's high expectations for this Miami Dolphins offense. Make no mistake about it. In 2021, Lewan allowed the 4 sacks, 5 hits, and his quarterback to be hurried 13 times. Overall grade, grading out at the 64 there for Taylor Lewan. I just don't think he's a guy that adds a lot of value to that offensive line. You've got Terron Armstead, who we're hoping can play in week 1, Isaiah Wynn on the left guard, and Connor Williams at the center position, Robert Hunt, your right guard, and Austin Jackson's, he's still so young. The book is still being written on Austin Jackson, so I don't love the idea of bringing a disruptor like Taylor Lewan in, who's, you know, again, right, wrong, or indifference. I don't mean any disrespect to this, but the guy is a personality. He does a lot of talking, and I just don't think that's the type of chemistry you're looking to build on a Dolphins offensive line that needs to be productive in order for Miami to have success in 2023. But I've said it once, I've said it a million times on this video. I'm so honored to be here. I'm humbled to be the full-time host of Dolphins Today. I'm looking forward to connecting, engaging with each and every one of you that subscribe to this channel, that are a part of Dolphins Today, and looking forward to growing the audience too on what has already been such a fun journey here at Chat Sports. That's just getting started, baby, as we enter game week for the Miami Dolphins. Kickoffs in less than a week, so it is time. Smash that subscription. Give me a like. Mention me in the comments. So glad to be here. And I just can't wait to continue bringing you daily Dolphins content here on Chat Sports.